Hi everybody, I'm Greg Fishel. Welcome to bonus weather video number 2 for this week. And since the baseball season is in full swing, I thought we'd examine a much misunderstood concept about baseballs and how far they travel and under what conditions they travel the farthest. So I've entitled this in baseball, what type of weather favors upper deck home runs, the ones that just make everybody ooh and ah. And the answer to this may surprise you. So let's go on ahead and put myself down here. And we're going to start off with a little bit of background information. First of all, you probably know this, nitrogen and oxygen make up most of the atmosphere, on average 99%. It can be a little lower than that, but for the most part, these two gases are the dominant ones. Now, nitrogen has an atomic weight of 14 and oxygen has an atomic weight of 16, okay? Now, both gases in their form that we see them in our atmosphere have two atoms bonded together, okay? So you have N2 and O2. So if you double those numbers, then the molecular weight of nitrogen is 28 and oxygen is 32, okay? Now, water vapor is made up of two atoms of hydrogen bonded with one atom of oxygen. Hydrogen only has an atomic weight of 1, okay? So you double that and you have 2. Oxygen is 16, so the molecular weight of water vapor is, or water in general, is 18, as opposed to the 28 and the 32 with nitrogen and oxygen. So the more water vapor that is present, and water vapor can make up to 4% of the atmosphere in its most moist state, the less dense the atmosphere is, okay? So now let's take a look at some stats from the Upper Air Station near Atlanta. It's technically in Peachtree City, but it's just outside of downtown Atlanta. Now, precipitable water is the amount of water vapor integrated through the entire column of the atmosphere, okay? The average value in January is 0.4 inches, okay? It isn't very much at all. But in July, it is almost 4 times that, or is about 4 times that, at 1.6, okay? So with that in mind, if water vapor is less dense than nitrogen and oxygen, and there's 4 times as much water vapor present in July than in January, the overall density of the air is less in July. Therefore, there is less drag and baseballs actually travel farther in a humid environment than they do in a dry environment. It feels very different than that. The air feels heavy when it's moist and you think, boy, that's really going to make the baseball travel slower. But the reason it feels heavy is that evaporation is one of the ways your body cools itself, okay? So you have perspiration on your skin and that evaporates into the air. Evaporation is a cooling process, and so you feel very, very comfortable. When it's very, very humid, it's almost like the atmosphere is saying, hey, look, I got enough of my own water vapor, or water, I don't need any of yours. And so the evaporation process is much less efficient. That stuff just sits on your skin and you feel miserable, okay? Unless you like that type of thing. So basically, it feels like the air is more dense when it's humid because of all that stuff laying on your skin. But in reality, the air is actually less dense, provides less drag, and allows projectiles to travel farther. And so if you want to see Pete Alonso, like I do with the Mets, hit one of his more prolific home runs, July is the time that it's most likely to happen. All right, folks, that's it for now. That's bonus weather video number 2 for this week. Number 3 will be coming up on Friday, and the next daily update, of course, coming up tomorrow. So you all have a wonderful Wednesday evening, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.